Hello and welcome to my little informative video on my experience about getting the Korean student visa. Currently in the process of studying abroad and you're at the visa stage, congratulations! You're one step closer to studying abroad and visiting Korea. Very exciting! Honestly, this was a very stressful moment for me because visa just sounds really scary. It just seems like a very important thing. It is a very important thing, but you know, it's very intimidating. So hopefully this video can ease your nerves a little bit or give you a little insight on the whole process. Little introduction, my name is Baloo and I will be studying abroad in South Korea for the fall semester of 2022. I am only studying for a semester. I don't remember if there's an actual different process or a different visa you have to get depending on your length of stay over there. I'll talk a little more about that later, but yes, I'm only studying for a semester over there. Also, before I get super into everything, I just wanted to note that everything that I will say in this video is based off my own experiences. I just wanted to share a little bit of how the process was for me in hopes to help ease other people's nerves or curiosities. So just to keep that in mind, and please be kind. If you do have any questions, let me know. I'll try my best to answer. This is all just based off how I did it. Okay, so with the formalities out of the way, let's get into what you should do first. As I mentioned, you want to make sure to make an appointment, which you can do on the website. It's not difficult at all, but you really want to make sure to schedule this ahead of time in case of any future issues. I scheduled mine in late June when I was supposed to leave late August to Korea. On the website, you'll find the visa application, which you should print and fill out before your appointment. The appointment is really just for you to turn in everything that's needed. I'll give a list of everything you should bring in just a bit. Also wanted to note that you can do your appointment online or in person. I did mine in person, so I'm not sure about the whole online process. And in case you were wondering, I did my whole visa process at the Consulate General of the Republic of Korea in San Francisco. It's a fairly tall building that blends in with all the residential homes, but you'll know which one it is from the huge pole with the Korean flag sitting right in front of it. So it does blend in. I put in a clip of what it looks like, but it's in a pretty safe and kind of bougie area. I don't know, it looked kind of bougie. Right, so now that you've filled out your application, to the best of your abilities, of course, the people who work there are actually really nice, so they'll help you however they can, so don't feel afraid to leave something in blank if you're confused. I definitely did that, so please go ahead and do that. But after you've filled out your application, it's time for you to gather up the documents that you'll need to bring to your appointment. So let's go over what you should bring. Alright, so just to go over what you need to bring, of course, first off is your visa application filled out to the best of your abilities. Second, you got your passport. Then you have the school transcript, so your university's transcript. My university, the study abroad department, had this ready. They emailed me and they're like, come whenever you're ready to pick up your transcript. So I went and picked it up from the study abroad office. You could probably do the same thing at your university or reach out to them or get it through, your academic advisor or whatnot. Or I think you can order it online or something on your student center, whatever it's called. So make sure to bring your school transcript. Everything that I'm listing, by the way, I found out in the moment. I could not find a place on the website. I'm also kind of dumb, but I couldn't find a place on the website where it actually listed everything that I needed to bring. So I just brought everything that felt important. I overbrought too, so I brought email, screenshots, anything that's email, I don't think they're gonna need. So I brought screenshots of emails, they didn't want those, and a couple other things. But yeah, documents, make sure to bring anything that you can because you definitely don't want to be coming back a bazillion times. So it's always good to overpack than underpack, right? But yeah, your school transcript, make sure to get that from your home university. Next up is the business registration. I got this from my host university. This is the host university kind of saying like, this is what's going on, and they sign in all that. And I think there's a point, I don't know if it was in the business registration or the certificate of admission. I think it was a business registration where you have to sign it somewhere. But anyways, yeah, business registration from your host university in Korea. And then you have your banking statements. So these banking statements, you're going to want to bring some statements on either, I think yours for sure, and then also anyone else who's going to financially help you. When I went with them, I was asking if they need like my FAFSA information. Turns out they said they did, but I couldn't figure out a way to get it to them before like my next appointment to see them. So at the end of the day, they still gave it to me without my FAFSA information, but I would definitely recommend bringing that in case of anything. So yeah, any financial things, if one of your parents are going to help you, like support you financially while you're abroad, bring one of their banking or their like banking statements. So just like they know that, you know, you got money to survive over there, I guess. And then you want a photo of you. This is going to be the passport size on the application. On the top, at least on the Korean application, on the top left, there's like a little box in it, and that's where it says like you need a picture. I don't know why, like when I filled out the application, I think I was just so nervous and it was just like really intimidating that I completely like forgot about it. But thankfully, in case of anything, I brought a picture. So you can definitely get a picture of this, and it'll have information on the application of how soon or how recent the picture has to be, or the size in specific. But make sure to bring a picture of you for your visa. And then lastly, you got your certificate of admission, which that is again from your host university in Korea. And then the payment. So when I went, it was $45. I paid it in cash. I think you can give card, but I just paid it in cash. So yeah. And that was just when I went. The prices may change later on, I don't know, but that's how much I paid. Alright, so now that you have your materials and you have your application filled out to the best of your abilities, and you go to your appointment, you're going to go ahead and enter the building. It's a very small area. I'll talk a little more about my experience later on. I'm just giving, you know, the answers right now, and then I'll talk about some little extra things later. You're going to go ahead and go in. They'll either directly, like, bring you to, like, the person who's dealing with, like, visas, or you'll take a number and then wait. But aside from that, when you get called up, you're just gonna give your things and they'll let you know if you're missing anything, and what you need to fill out. They'll give you some paperwork to fill out. All in all, it shouldn't take that long. For me, it took a little longer because I was really nervous. It was really awkward too. It took, like, for me, like 10-20 minutes to be there, but in all reality, it could have taken me like I think it took me 15 to 20 minutes just being there, but in reality it could have been like 10 minutes. It was really just turning in stuff, and then they're going to ask you for your number or somewhere to contact you, so they can call you back and then be like, okay, your visa is ready to be picked up, and then you'll come back to pick it up, and the pickup is literally like 5 minutes. So all in all, the process of like turning it in isn't stressful at all, and the people are really nice as well. But yeah, it's really just like making sure you fill out your application, sign a couple things that they may need, and giving them the money for the visa, and then they'll call you back. And that's pretty much the process. I don't know why I assumed the visa was gonna be like some like card. It's not. At least for me, it was just a printed piece of paper. I was like, this doesn't look legit, but I guess it is. So they're gonna give you that. If it's in person. Oh, in your appointment, once you get to the point where they're like, okay, we'll contact you, they're going to ask if you want it to be mailed to you or if you want to pick it up. I asked to pick it up because I was dumb and I got nervous. But they can be mailed to you. I don't remember if there's an extra fee for it to be mailed to you. Maybe there is. But that is an option too. So you can either pick it up or it'll be mailed to you, but it's going to be a printed piece of paper. At least that's what it was for me. And it arrived, like, the whole thing, like, was ready to get picked up, was like a week after my original appointment. So within like a week, I got my stuff. It really didn't seem like they were that busy. I don't know if it was just lucky that it was during like the time that I went, but it was all in all a pretty quick process. I deeply apologize. I just realized that my hair was getting in the way of my microphone. It is the first time that I'm using this microphone to record, and it's better audio, but I completely forgot that my hair was in the way. So that scratchy noise was my hair. I am so sorry. I hope that wasn't too bad. If I need to put subtitles, I will, but I feel like I did a good job, so I'm not gonna do it again. But okay, so everything that I've just mentioned is pretty much all I think that you really need to know, and I'm gonna go ahead and talk a little bit about my experience, like my personal experience and how everything went down for me. It's not really that informative, but rather just kind of, I guess, a story, storytelling. But I think it'll maybe be helpful because I know that I would have liked to hear a little bit of this, especially specifically talking about like the SF, like Korean embassy. So, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go into that. But without further ado, that's all I really have to say regarding like super specific information, like what you gotta bring, how the process goes down, and like a quick summary. But let's go ahead and go into how it went down for me. So as I mentioned, I was very nervous to go, and honestly I've never done something like this, so like the filling out the paperwork, so I was very confused and I was very nervous to write something incorrect because I don't know, I just have this fear that if I write one thing wrong I'm gonna go to jail for like, I don't know, saying something wrong or false, when I didn't mean to. I'm just dumb. So I was really nervous, but when I actually got to the embassy, I walked in, and this is of course during like pandemic time, right? So I was wearing a mask, and I went in, there's a security man there, and he's just gonna be like, okay, he was really nice, he was so nice, and he had a little butterfly mask, and it was very cute. He was like cracking jokes while I was really awkward and stiff. I felt bad because I thought he would think like, damn, she's like not here, like she just seems so like sad. I was just really nervous, but after like he let me in, it's a very small place. I expected it to be bigger. It's actually a really like small place. It's just like a little hallway, and then like down the hall is where, there's the visa appointments, there's like passports and stuff like that, and it's all just like windows, right? So it's like not windows, but like, when you're going up to a window to like pay for something, like at a bank or something like that. I don't know if they have like an official name, but there's those windows and sectioned off areas. It's not like you're going into like a private room for your visa application, which is what I thought as well. But no, you're gonna be just going up to a window for the visa section. But yeah, I went inside, and then a woman approached me and she was like, do you have an appointment? I was like, yes, I do. My appointment was like 11 in the morning, I think. I came at like 10:30 or 10:50, or no, my appointment was like 12, I can't remember, but I came much earlier than what I originally like set my appointment to, and they didn't have anyone, so like it was okay. I think if I even gone earlier I would have been able to go in much earlier too. Which is why like the website does say like schedule an appointment, and I would definitely schedule an appointment. But even if you were to go a little earlier, or if, like, worst thing worse, like, you do a walk-in, like, I think it's okay. Like, they don't really have a lot of people, at least for when I went, so, I think it's pretty good. But yeah, so I went in, the woman brought me a, like, ticket, like a line, like, what number am I in line ticket, gave it to me. She gave me a magazine and had me sit down, and so I was just kind of sitting really nervously. And then once I was called in, I went over and brought my paperwork to them. And I was very nervous, so the interactions weren't that good because I was just really, really awkward and very nervous. But I just gave them my paper, and then if I had any questions, I like asked them, and then they answered me very politely and very like without ease or like no judgment, which is very nice, especially for me who is very sensitive. But yeah, they answered all my questions. And yeah, pretty much like I just kind of filled out the rest of my application there because I had a lot of blank spaces and a lot of not correctly done parts. There was parts of the what's it called, the application where it asked for like certain addresses in Korea, and I was like, man, I don't even know, like I don't have my dorm situation still set, and yada yada. But I would tell her like, is it okay if I like just write the university address? And she was like, yeah, that's fine, go ahead. And So definitely, like, if you have any questions, leave it and ask over there, because they're very kind, and it's always good to ask than to just, well, we'll see, right? So yeah. Overall, the process was super straightforward. And after a while, like, I was missing a couple documents. I didn't bring my banking statements because I didn't know I was supposed to. So they referred me to this email, and they were like, just email us the screenshots of your banking statements, and once you've sent us your screenshots, we'll start processing your visa, and then, we'll call you when your visa is ready to be picked up. And so yeah, if you're missing any documents, do not worry. You won't be crucified like I thought I was going to be. They're just going to be like, go ahead and like email it to us. It's, no problem. No, don't have to go all the way back into the office. And yeah, and keep in mind, this was also with the person I was working with. I don't know if with different people it'll be a different experience, but for the most part, they were all like super nice. And yeah, so I finished my like whole application. I made a couple mistakes and I kept going back. But after that, I was ready to go home, and it took me like, I looked back in my journal, it took me like 30 minutes, even though it could have taken me like 10 to 15 minutes, I think. It really was just like submitting all my stuff, and if I had everything like fully filled out with no questions asked, then I would have just turned it in, they would have looked over it, and then, asked me to pay, I'd pay, and I'd sign a couple things, and then I'd be out. But yeah, so I went back home, and within like a week, I submitted my documents as soon as I could, like the banking statements, and then like a week after and a week and a half after, I got a call, and they were like, your visa's ready to be picked up, come in whenever you're ready. So I came in, I did not have to make an appointment. I literally just like walked in, got another number, and they called me in. Like, they didn't have many people that day either. Like, I could have went in that day as just a walk-in for my visa, and I think I would have been helped. But definitely make an appointment just in case, because, we want to have manners and do things, as they say it on the website. Yeah, I just went inside and got my visa picked up, and yeah, that was basically it. Like, they were just like, okay, here's your visa. And I was like, all right, cool, thanks. Bye. And I left, and that was pretty much it. Like, the visa process wasn't really that hard. It seemed a lot harder than what I thought. I think the hardest part is really just filling out the application and getting all your materials. But the actual process of going there and submitting it isn't that bad. But yeah, I guess that's my experience, and I don't know if that'll help in any sort of way. Again, the place in San Francisco is like blending in with all the houses around. But it's a very like small place once you go in. You can pretty much see everything, like the doors are open, and it's like a little hallway. It's very tiny, tall building, but very tiny, like for like the public to like walk in. And there are bathrooms in there too. But yeah, I guess that's all I really have to share. I thought I'd have more to do, but I think I probably would have talked more earlier in my when I was like fresh out of the visa process, but it's been a couple months now, so yeah. But I hope this was helpful. If you do have any questions, let me know. I will try my best to help, and as always, reach out to your study abroad advisors about any questions, or your school about any questions. It never hurts to ask any questions. It's always good to ask. I love asking questions, that's why everyone hates me. But yeah, I guess without further ado, I hope this was helpful. And yeah, thank you, and good luck with the process, and good luck with study abroad. Congratulations with everything. Keep up the good work, and yeah.